Hey, sports card fans, it's John Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. It's time to take a look at the top 10 PSA vintage baseball card sales on eBay for cards from the 1930s and 1940s for March 2025. Now, for the 1930s, while the top 10 is dominated primarily by Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, there's another big Hall of Famer who has two cards in this month's top 10 list. And for the 1940s, while the 1949 Leaf set dominates the top 10, there's a pretty good variety of players represented in the top 10. And there's one card from the 40s that a copy of the highest PSA grade sold this month. And for both top 10 lists, there are some new record high sales. So let's get to the top 10 lists. Let's start off with the top 10 from the 1930s. At number 10, we have this 1939 play ball Joe DiMaggio in a PSA 5.5. This one sold on March 29th for $5,000. It was a buy it now. The current VCP average price for a PSA 5.5 is $3,421. So this sale here would represent a new record high sale for a PSA 5.5. The previous high was $3,421 back in October of 2021 through memory lane. Now, there was one other significant 1939 play ball Joe DiMaggio sale in March. This one, a PSA 4 copy, sold on March 10th for $3,399. At number 9, we have this 1935 Diamond Stars Hank Greenberg in a PSA 8. This one sold on March 15th for $5,500. It was a best offer. The current VCP average price for a PSA 8 is this sale at $5,500, and it represents a new record high sale for a PSA 8 copy. The previous high was $4,852 back in December of 2023 through eBay. At number 8, we have this 1933 Goudey Babe Ruth card number 149 in a PSA 1. This one sold on March 28th for $5,750. It was a best offer. The current VCP average price for a PSA 1 is $5,273. The record high sale was $14,400 back in April of 2021 through Golden. Now, there were two other significant 33 Goudey Babe Ruth card number 149 sale in March. One was an authentic copy that sold on March 21st for $3,099, and then an authentic altered copy sold on March 13th for $3,000. At number 7, we have this 1934 Goudey Hank Greenberg in a PSA 5.5. This one sold on March 31st for $5,877. It was an auction. There were 34 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 5.5 is $5,279. But this sale here on March 31st is a new record high sale for a PSA 5.5 copy. The previous high was $4,680 back in February of this year through a Fanatics Collect weekly auction. Now, there was one other significant 34 Goudey Hank Greenberg sale in March. This one was a PSA 5 copy that sold on March 2nd for $3,900. At number 6, we have this 1933 Goudey Lou Gehrig card number 160. This one sold on March 31st for $6,663. It was an auction. There were 28 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 3 is $6,300. The record high sale was $10,500 back in May of 2023 through Heritage. Now, there were two other significant 33 Gaudy card number 160 Lou Gehrig cards in March. One was a PSA 2.5 copy sold on March 13th for $5,900, and the second was also a 2.5 that sold on March 23rd for $5,536. At number 5, we have this 1934 Gaudy Lou Gehrig in a PSA 4. This one sold on March 24th for $7,463. It was an auction. There were 26 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 4 is $6,355. The record high sale was $8,000 back in September of 2023 through eBay. At number 4, we have this 1933 Gaudy Lou Gehrig card number 92 in a PSA 3.5. This one sold on March 24th for $9,150. It was an auction. There were 35 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 3.5 is $7,950. The record high sale was $9,900 back in February of 2024 through Heritage. Now, there were three other significant 1933 Gaudy Lou Gehrig card number 92 sales in March. The first one was a PSA 3 mark sold on March 2nd for $3,976. Then we had a PSA 1 copy sold on March 22nd for $3,450. And finally, a PSA 1.5 sold on March 3rd for $2,902. At number 3, we have this 1933 Gaudy Babe Ruth card number 144 in a PSA 3. This one sold on March 17th for $12,544. It was an auction. There were 36 bids. The current VCP average price for PSA 3 is $14,022, but the record high sale was $23,000 back in October of 2021 through PWCC. Now, there were four other significant 1933 Gaudy Babe Ruth card number 144 sales in March. First, we have a PSA 1 copy that sold on March 15th for $7,400. Another PSA 1 copy sold on March 10th for $6,500. An authentic altered copy sold on March 13th for $4,922. And finally, another PSA 1 copy sold on March 9th for $4,300. At number 2, another Babe Ruth card. This one, the 1933 Gaudy card number 53 in a PSA 2. This one sold on March 11th for $13,570. It was an auction. There were 64 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 2 is $12,749. The record high sale was $18,192 back in September of 2022 through Memory Lane. Now, there was one other 1933 Gaudy Babe Ruth card number 53 sale in March. This one was an authentic copy that sold on March 4th for $3,050. And at the number 1 spot for March, we have another 1933 Gaudy Babe Ruth card. This one, card number 181 in the set. This one sold on March 24th for $18,500. It was a best offer. The current VCP average price for a PSA 4 is $18,300, but the record high sale was $26,400 back in April of 2022 through a Love of the Game auction. But there was one other significant 1933 Gaudy Babe Ruth card number 181 sale in March. This one was a PSA 3 copy that sold on March 10th for $12,163. All right, on to the top 10 from the 1940s. At number 10, we have this 1949 Bowman Roy Campanella in a PSA 7. This one sold on March 19th for $3,000. It was a best offer. The current VCP average price for a PSA 7 is $2,340. The record high sale was $3,240 back in April of 2022 through REA. At number 9, we have this 1948 Swell Sports Thrills Most Dramatic Home Run featuring Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth in a PSA 7. This one sold on March 23rd for $3,061. It was an auction. There were 40 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 7 is this sale at $3,061 because it is a new record high for a PSA 7 copy. The previous high was $3,000 back in November of 2018 through eBay. Now, this PSA 7 copy is the highest graded PSA copy of this card, and there are only 5 that have been graded a PSA 7. At number 8, we have this 1949 Leaf Ted Williams in a PSA 4. This one sold on March 31st for $3,300. It was a buy it now. The current VCP average price for a PSA 4 is $2,634. The record high sale was $4,810 back in March of 2022 through Golden. At number 7, we have this 1949 Leaf Joe DiMaggio in a PSA 4.5. This one sold on March 26th for $3,450. It was a best offer. The current VCP average price for a PSA 4.5 is $2,646. The record high sale was $3,900 back in March of 2024 through eBay. Now, there were 2 other 1949 Leaf Joe DiMaggio sales in March. The first one was a PSA 4.5 copy that sold on March 23rd for $2,651. And then finally, a PSA 3 copy sold on March 2nd for $2,300. At number 6, we have this 1949 Leaf Bob Feller, which is a short print in the set, in a PSA 3. This one sold on March 9th for $3,600. It was a buy it now. The current VCP average price for a PSA 3 is $1,802, so this sale here at $3,600 represents a new record high sale for a PSA 3 copy. The previous high was $1,802 back in August of 2021 through eBay. At number 5, we have this 1948 Bowman Warren Spahn in a PSA 8. This one sold on March 28th for $3,835. It was an auction. There was 1 bid. The current VCP average price for a PSA 8 is $3,398. But the record high sale was $4,080 back in November of 2023 through Heritage. At number 4, we have this 1949 Leaf Stan Musial in a PSA 4. This one sold on March 1st for $4,050. It was an auction. There were 33 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 4 is $2,974. The record high was $6,097 back in March of 2022 through Mile High. Now, there was one other 1949 Leaf Stan Musial sale in March. This one, a PSA 5 copy, sold on March 7th for $3,427. At number 3, we have this 1949 Bowman Satchel Paige in a PSA 5.5. This one sold on March 21st for $7,500. It was a buy it now. The current VCP average price for a PSA 5.5 is this sale here at $7,500, as it represents a new record high sale for a PSA 5.5 copy. The previous high was $7,020 back in May of 2023 through Golden. At number 2, we have this 1949 Leaf Jackie Robinson in a PSA 2. This one sold on March 24th for $8,188. It was an auction. There were 60 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 2 is $8,808. But the record high sale was $22,800 back in December of 2021 through REA. Now, there were 4 other significant 1949 Leaf Jackie Robinson sales in March. The first one, a PSA 1.5 copy, sold on March 10th for $7,300. Another 1.5 copy sold on March 10th for $7,000. A PSA 1 copy sold on March 3rd for $6,900. And finally, another PSA 1 copy sold on March 5th for $6,499. And at the number 1 spot for the 1940s for March, this 1949 Bowman Jackie Robinson in a PSA 6. This one sold on March 27th for $10,322. It was an auction. There were 70 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 6 is $8,760. The record high sale, though, was $22,350 back in February of 2021 through eBay. Now, there were 4 other significant 49 Bowman Jackie Robinson sales in March. First, a PSA 5 copy sold on March 24th for $8,622. A PSA 5 copy sold on March 10th for $7,750. A PSA 4 copy sold on March 23rd for $5,911. And finally, a PSA 1.5 copy sold on March 15th for $3,000. Well, there you go, the top 10 PSA vintage baseball card sales on eBay for cards from the 1930s and 1940s for March 2025. As always, would love to know in the comments what you think about the cards that made the 2 top 10 lists. And with that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.